Hello people, and we're back with another video. Yeah. And obviously this video is going to be the match preview for Arsenal versus Aston Villa at Aston Villa Stadium. An away day, looking forward to it. But before we get into it, you know the drill. Right down there, somewhere below, or I don't know where it is on the phone, but I'm assuming you're on your computer. It's down there somewhere. It says subscribe. If you click it, it helps me out more than you could ever imagine. Trying to build the community, trying to get more people involved, and we are aiming to hit 1K. Hey man, the moment we hit 1K, I may start looking into the possibility of doing some streams. But to do streams, I need a community behind me. So you know what to do. And while you're there, algorithm gang, hit the thumbs up, drop a comment. It gets all this lovely content out to all the different people in the world. All right. So back to the game. So look, you know, I watched the press conference from Arteta yesterday, and from what I can tell, didn't really want to talk too much about his contract or transfers. The full focus was on the big game that is tomorrow. Yeah, fully focused. Yeah, because this, although I think we're gonna go and win, and although I think the W is gonna be quick, I believe in my club. Yeah. You know, I can imagine Arteta and the players view it maybe a bit differently, and they understand the kind of trials and tribulations they'll have to go through to be successful at Villa Park. So, you know, we all know Arteta by now. You know, he has a big feeling and belief in the players. He trusts them, yeah, but he's aware that we need to achieve that one more level. We need to go one more level higher, yeah? And to do that, we have to perform at the highest level to win every game. And it's no different tomorrow at 5:30. We're going to need to go up another gear from what we did against Wolves. I don't think the performance that we put in against Wolves would be enough to get us the victory at Villa Park. No disrespect to Wolves, but we're playing a much better team who play a much better brand of football with much better players. And I mean, on top of all that, Aston Villa have been able to keep hold of their star players. So they haven't really had a loss. I know Douglas Luiz, he's gone out, but they brought in Onana, and it looks like immediately he's coming with the impact in it. So Aston Villa was the only team last season, yeah, that beat us home and away. The only team. It annoyed me to the depths of my heart, because Emery, who is their manager, used to manage Arsenal. And out of all the managers in the league, it had to be him that played a massive part in making us not being able to win the Premier League. And from Arteta's perspective, it was quite simple. Why did they beat us? They scored and we didn't. Wasn't that simple? Especially in the last game that we played, so the second game of the season, it was that simple. They're coached really well. They like to dominate every aspect of the game, and they're a team that's able to find spaces that aren't there. Truth be told, this is something that we did see when Emery was managing at Arsenal. We have seen it at other clubs when he's managed Sevilla, when he's managed Villarreal. They're really good both offensively and defensively, keeping the ball, playing about with the ball in tight areas. It's what he gets his teams to kind of excel at. I would say it's the Basque way of playing the game. Yeah. So I imagine more of the same from Emery and Villa. I can't lie. I imagine it to be a very high-paced, physical, high-energy game. And truth be told, look, as crazy as it sounds, we cannot lose games or draw them. We just have to win. We have to win as many games as possible on the bounce. So when we do drop points, it's at a moment where we're already far ahead and people still have to play catch up. But this early on in the season, when everyone's in and around each other, the moment we drop points, Man City's going to be licking their lips. Liverpool's going to be licking their lips. We cannot allow that. We cannot allow that. So something interesting that Arteta did say, and I'm not too sure if he. So the question that was asked was something along the lines of, in the last game against Wolves, we saw Timber come on for Zinchenko, and then with Timber now coming back as an option, could we potentially see him being used in midfield? And the way the question was asked and answered, I couldn't quite tell if they was referring to Timber or Zinchenko, but it could apply to both, right? And essentially what Arteta said was it could be used as a midfield option. The options there, they can play in many positions. They can be utilized in various positions. So maybe, just maybe at some point in the season, we might see either Zinchenko or Timber play maybe in the 6, maybe in the left 8. Who knows? For me, that's kind of interesting. I won't lie, because I know a lot of fans, me myself included, were screaming out, this Zinchenko thing doesn't really work at left back, but if you play him in midfield, crazy. He plays in midfield for his country. He started off as a midfielder. I don't understand why it's an option that Arteta has never explored at club level, but with what he said, maybe this season we might see a couple surprises. And then speaking about Declan Rice, so he was basically asked around, Declan Rice says he sees his main position as a 6, but whenever he plays the 8, he loves it. He loves the way he's able to go forward and be more involved in the offensive side of the game. And Arteta was kind of asked, okay, look, where do you see Rice? Is he a 6? Is he an 8? Enlighten us. And essentially, what he said is it would be a big mistake to not develop Rice as a 6 and an 8 at the age that he's at, when he's still fairly young. I think he's 25, and he's able to absorb a lot easier the aspects of playing in both roles. Now, as an Arsenal fan, that makes me happy, because look, I don't think that Declan Rice can play the lone 6 in our system as good as other players could, but I do think that he can play the position of a 6, and he's more defensive minded than anything else, so I could see why as a 6 he works out really well in certain games. But when he plays the 6, he's not like Rodri, he finds those line breaking passes. He's always looking to pass forward, even in tight spaces. Like Partey always, in no matter what position he's in, how difficult he is, he always looks and tries to deliver the line breaking pass. So if this is something that Rice can kind of adapt into his game, which may take him some time because he's not used to doing it, because at West Ham that was never the case. He was kind of like sweep up. Just sweep up. Yo, they got the ball, sweep up. Get the ball back, sweep up. Well, they're coming towards us. Yeah, break leg, sweep up. So for him, I think maybe after this season, he may be a bit more comfortable playing that role. And I think that is something that Arteta is looking to develop as a part of his game. But Arteta did say he is looking to build him up as both. And he does feel that will be really important. And I agree, building up Rice as both, it makes us more flexible. Like, Rice doesn't just have to play 6. Like, Rice being able to play the 8 means that you can play Partey in the 6, or you can play Jorginho in the 6. Or when you play him in the 6, that means that, okay, you can play Marino in the 8. Do you know what I mean? The only person in that midfield that I think is never leaving and will always play is Ødegaard. But everybody else can be moved around and rotated, and let's see what he does moving forward. So, obviously, going back to the game itself, no team in the Premier League over the last 2 seasons has taken more away points than Arsenal. Yeah? And Arteta thinks it gives us a lot of confidence and belief to go and win this game. I would agree. Our away form over the last 2 seasons has been scintillating. And to me, I think that's because we just don't fear these teams anymore. Like we go to these grounds and we play our brand of football. Do you know what I mean? The only team you can argue and debate that we maybe played a bit different was Man City. When we went to the Etihad, I firmly believe we wanted to play our game, but we was just like, okay, if we're too open, if we're way too open, and play too high up the pitch, they're just it could get long. It could get extremely long. So we just need a bit more focused. Yeah, we need to be a bit more structured, and we need to be a bit more patient. And I feel like because we did that, we got the draw. The W would have been better, but we didn't drop points. Which some may argue if we got the win there, we could have won the league. But then I would say it's very difficult to go there and get the W. It's not an easy task. It's not like I'm going to Leicester. Do you know what I mean? Whoops, Tottenham. And look, a lot of people slate Arsenal for what we did in that game, but then Carlo Ancelotti used that game as kind of reference for how to approach their away game versus Man City, and it led to them progressing in the Champions League. But when they do it, it's cool. When we do it, oh, do you know what I mean? So and yeah, something that I didn't know that I only found out in watching this press conference is Saka is 1 game away from 100 wins for Arsenal. That is crazy. He's 22. That's mad. And the numbers are special. This is what Arteta said. The numbers are special. And especially for the position he plays, it's rare to see. Very rare to see. And I would agree. He's a right winger. Don't get me wrong. I do think that a small portion of those wins would have come at left back, because he did start off as a left back. But then I do think the large majority of them come at right wing. There may be like the odd left wing game, or there was a game when he played in the 10. I don't think it was last season. I think it was the season before, or it may even been the season before that. I can't remember if we won it. I can't remember who it was against, but I do remember him playing a game in the 10. But the large majority of those wins have been at right wing. And for a right winger to play as many games as he's played and to nearly be at 100 at the age of 22, that is absolutely outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. I'm sorry, just absolutely outstanding. So he was asked, obviously we're seeing Timber against Wolves. Is there a chance for him to start? And basically Arteta along the lines is we have to be cautious with Timber. So he's not so sure if he will start. We have to build him up slowly. People forget he had a ACL injury. If you rush players back from ACL injuries, their knee myth gone. We could do irreversible damage to Timber's career at the age of 22. I think it's 22, 23. That would mean we probably would have to offload him because he just would never be able to handle the pace. And me personally, as much as I want to see him play, I understand that we have to be a bit careful. We do have to be a bit careful. A bit of a cheeky question, but it was essentially, is beating Emery personal for Arteta? And obviously, with the history and the fact that they're both Basque and all of that, and he managed Arsenal before, is it a bit personal? And Arteta's like, look, beating Emery is not personal. He did that immediately. I'm happy that he did. He did it immediately. Yeah. He basically said he just wants to win. And that remains his most pivotal prerogative. We just need to win. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what team you are. It doesn't matter what connection you have with the club. Every game we go into, we just need to win. We just need to win. And and I mean, the last away game, when we played Villa at Villa Park, Arteta was in the stands. He didn't like it, man. He didn't like it. He said he was too far away from the bench, too far away from the players. Didn't feel like he was involved, and we all know what Arteta's like, innit? We all know what Arteta's like. So, looking at the Aston Villa squad, do you know what? I'm gonna be honest. Every time I play Villa, I hope that we score bare goals because Martinez, I can't stand him. I can't lie. The way he left Arsenal and then tried to be cheeky and said, "Yeah, man, I think my career's progressed moving to Villa," which is a bait lie. It's like an obvious lie. He's an idiot. His behavior in certain games, I just don't like it. The stuff I saw him do at not the Copa America that just went, but the one before, joke, man. At the World Cup, joke, man. Like, he's just weird. He's just a weird guy. As a goalkeeper, I can't fault him. Talented, but just him as a person, just not really about it. And then we look at their defense. They got the likes of Konsa, who I think is good. Matty Cash, he's good going forward, but he is a bit of a liability defensively at times. He has got that kind of rashness about him as well. Diego Carlos, great defender. Tyrone Mings, I think he's their captain. I don't know if they've changed it this season, but I think he's their captain. I don't really like him. I don't think he's that great, but I respect what he's been able to do with his career. Obviously, Lucas Digne, someone that's always kind of been... his career's kind of been stumbled by injuries. He gets a lot of injuries, but on the ball, he's great. He's also a good option from set pieces. Pau Torres, I think that was a good signing. A very good ball-playing defender. Probably Aston Villa was able to get him because he worked under Emery at Villarreal, and it was just like, yo, bro, come on, man. Come follow me, man. You know what I'm about. And then their new signing, Ian Matson, who I think he's a really good youngster, but very good on the ball, very technical. But is he good enough for me to be worried? I'm not so sure. Now onto their midfield, where I think they excel quite a bit. They got Ross Barkley back. Yo, what a baller. John McGinn, underwhelming as a name, but he does do. I have to give it to him. He works hard. He's a workhorse who can provide you a goal here and there. Yuri Tielemans, technically sound, but slow, man. So slow. Like, he's actually just slow. Like, super slow. Buendia, there was a time where I wanted him at Arsenal, but I haven't really seen him do anything since going Villa. He's been hampered by injuries. Not really a threat to me. I'll be real. Jaden, I think it's Philogene. Wicked youngster. Aston Villa's a good move for him. They signed Samuel Illing Jr. I think that's his name. Illing Jr. and Enzo Barrenechea. Both good youngsters. Will they get game time? I'm not so sure. Amadou Onana, scary. I wanted them at Arsenal. I can't lie, I wanted them at Arsenal. Morgan Rogers. So I don't know if people watch many games in towards the latter part of last season, but Morgan Rogers actually played a few games for them, and he did get a few goals from the midfield as well. And he does look like a powerhouse in the midfield. He looks strong. He looks big. He looks good on the ball. Very, very, very strong physical presence. I'm a tad bit worried. Do you know what? I think he deserves a chance this season, but let's see if he'll get it. Leon Bailey, I don't think anything needs to be said. Arguably, I would say their most dangerous winger. Dangerous. Jamo. He's dangerous, bro. I won't lie. He's dangerous. And then I like Jacob Ramsey. I like Kamara. Their midfield is arguably where their strong point is. Now look, up front, yeah. Ollie Watkins, class. What a striker. He's a gooner at heart. Love him. So happy to see that he got into the England team. Hopefully under, currently Lee Carsley is the interim. So whether he stays on or whoever is the next manager, I hope he just gets more game time because he deserves it. And then they got John Duran as an option, who's a good youngster, Colombian, massive. He's massive, but he's quick as well. He scored against West Ham in the last game. So, yeah. Uh, their team to me, it has there's scary people across the squad, but I just don't know if it's enough to scare me. If that makes sense. Like I don't really fear it. I'll be honest. I can acknowledge that they can do damage, but whether they will do damage is a completely different thing. And I guess just to round up the preview, um, what I think we'll go with, I think we'll go with David Raya in goal, Ben White on the right, Saliba and Gabriel as our centre backs. I do think that I was gonna say Zinchenko, but I'm not so sure. I think it's a 50-50 coin flip of Zinchenko and Calafiori. I feel like maybe Calafiori will start because we want to be defensively stronger, especially Leon Bailey versus Zinchenko will probably give me some nightmares tonight. So I would prefer to see Calafiori there, but I can see Arteta starting Zinchenko, especially considering he played well in the first half against Wolves, and in the last two preseason games before the season started, he was really good. I expect us to go with the same midfield that we went with last time, which was Partey, Rice, and Erdegaard. Marino is, I heard he's on his way to London right now, probably doing the medical today. Could hopefully, if he gets it wrapped up before the cutoff, I'm not sure what time the cutoff is, maybe he'll be in the matchday squad, but I don't think he would start regardless. So I probably think that will be the midfield, unless Arteta decides he wants to play Rice in the six and then maybe have Havertz in the midfield, which would mean Jesus up top, but we'll see. I expect Saka to play on the right, Havertz up top, unless he plays in the midfield, then Jesus, and then it's probably going to be Martinelli, right? But then I always think it's a 50-50 coin flip between who starts between him and Trossard. So it'll be one of them, but my money's on Martinelli. I feel like this game could be Martinelli's kind of final chance. Well, not final chance, but like he needs to do something. Like something needs to happen in this game. So yeah, that's kind of where my thoughts are right now with the preview. Obviously, I know in the lot for the Wolves game I did a prediction with the preview, but that was because of the circumstances. I was going away for the weekend, so back to normal. The prediction will come out tomorrow once I see the lineup. And yeah, I do think we'll get the W. And yeah, it's a great way to close out the evening tomorrow because we are the final game. So yeah, you know what to do. Slap the thumbs up. If you've made it this far, you might as well subscribe because it means you like what you're watching, right? And yeah, if you could drop a comment, let me know what you're thinking about this game, where your thoughts are at. Do you think we'll get the W? Do you think we'll lose? Do you think we'll draw? What do you think the starting lineup will be? Who do you want to see in the starting lineup? Do you think Marina will make it in time? And if he does, do you want to see him start? Yeah, let me know where your thoughts are at. Is this the game where we see Calafiori start? Who knows? Comments below. Let's get some discourse going. Other than that, I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.